Hi, I'm Lori Fleckgate of Siltar Solutions, and I'm here today to talk about this amazing thing. I think I've cracked the code for success. And when I tell you some more about it, you'll probably agree that I have. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is as a business consultant, I find myself preparing people for a success that they can't see. They can't see what I'm preparing them for. They don't know what's in the future. And it's very difficult for them to follow me into this place that they don't really know what's going to happen, where we're going. They don't see what I see on a regular basis, preparing people for success, how that success rolls in when they get prepared. So it's a little bit difficult for me to always be taking them by the hand and leading them along. But one of the things I realize is when we prepare for success, often success comes. Maybe not always the way that we expect it to come, but pretty much we can figure that as we prepare and keep doing things and working towards something and perfecting it and getting better and doing the research and putting all our ducks in a row, something's going to happen. Something has got to happen. We've done all the work. We've done all the heavy lifting. So absolutely something is going to have to happen from this. What I notice is people are a little bit afraid to take the leap. They're afraid to go that next step and see what's actually going to happen. So what ends up happening is they kind of hold back. They don't put all of their effort into it. They're kind of moving along at a kind of a slow pace. Taking once in a while, they'll take a large step, but for the most part, they're taking very small steps, or maybe even no steps at all, or maybe sporadic steps. Maybe they don't have consistency. And what ends up happening is they're not ready. So one of my big jobs, and I have my cheat sheet here so I make sure I cover everything. One of my big jobs as a consultant is to help people be ready for the challenges. They have to be ready for the challenge. So let me tell you a little story. I have a client that I've been working with consistently for a little over 2 years, and we've been working very hard, and we've been getting successes. It's strange because we'll get a bunch of little successes and then one big success, and a bunch of little successes and one big success. So, but we continue to constantly move towards success. We are aggressively seeking, always doing something, looking at it, analyzing it. How did it work? How can we improve it? What can we do better? And then doing, pitching again and going back and redoing those same steps. And what normally happens is we'll find one or two things that we tweak. And then as we go out there again, we'll get some more little successes, and boom, rolls in a bigger success. And each bigger success that rolls in brings in more successes, little and big. We work at it all the time. He's very diligent, and he does a method of sending out 5 pitches a day specifically, and he tweets, and and most of these tweets fall on deaf ears, but every once in a while he'll pick up someone and they'll be interested. So just the other day, he gets the phone call, and it is someone from Oprah's team that's calling. Oprah's team is calling. Wow. Wants to interview him, wants his information. Phenomenal success. You go out and you're fishing on a regular basis, and one day you catch a whale. So that is just to think that people on Oprah's team know him. I mean, that's amazing. It's huge. Let's take the flip side of that. There are people that are very resistant to work at something. They're afraid to work at it. They don't want to move towards it. They're they want to see it. They want to see it before they invest in their time, their heart, their emotion, their energy, their money. They don't want to do that investment because they believe, I assume, it's not going to happen for them. So they don't make the investment. And what ends up happening is opportunities come and they go. And opportunities come and they go. And they're not able to hang on, to grab any of those opportunities. They slip through their fingers. Well, often the reason why they slip through their fingers is they weren't prepared for those opportunities because all the time that it took to prepare, they weren't doing it. They were waiting to see what was going to happen. So in this waiting process, we're almost sending a message out there to the universe that we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe that it's going to come for us. We don't believe in our success. We're not going to invest the time. We're not going to invest the energy. So what ends up happening is when the train pulls in with the success, it pulls right on out, and it usually will take somebody else with it. I thought a lot about this. I've been thinking about this for a few days, and I've been wanting to come out and do this show about this, and it's been one thing after the other that's happened this week. It's been a very, so far, a very, very busy week. I've done quite a few interviews. I've had some personal challenges, and it's just been kind of a rough week, very, very busy. So I haven't been able to bring this to you. One of the things I was thinking in relationship to this is when we look for partners, when we have a really good opportunity, something really juicy and fabulous, when we look for partners, who do we look for? What are we looking for in a partner? Do we look for that person that we know has been preparing, that's been doing all the hard work, that's been putting all the time and the energy and the effort in, somebody who we know is really prepared? Or do we choose the person that's been waiting for it to happen before they prepare? Who do we choose? We choose the person that we know has been consistently working on it. The reason why is because it's a good opportunity and we don't want anybody to screw it up. So we choose the best possible candidate. And the best possible candidate is the person that's been preparing, that believed it could happen, that thought that they could make it happen, that thought it was going to happen for them. Those, oh, my lipstick is crooked. Those are the people that we look for. So one question I have is, are you the person that people are looking for? Are you the person whose phone rings when there's a good opportunity? Are you the person who's always preparing and always ready and jumping on that next thing and holding on with your life and saying, I'm going to make this happen? Or are you the person that kind of hangs out and, I think it might be a good idea. It might be a good opportunity, but I just want to wait and see. Which one are you? I know which one I am. I'm the one who jumps on. I jump on board and I say, you know what? I'm going to see how much I have to do. And whatever I have to do to make this happen, I believe in myself enough to make this happen. So I'm going to go for it. And people often call me, oh, I called you because, you're always doing stuff and you're always doing the next thing and you're always trying to make it work. And, every time I talk to you, you're doing something else, or I'm following you on social media. I can't believe you're getting so much done. Now you're doing the international retreats and you're helping authors and you're getting this and you're getting that. Well, yeah, that would be me. So my question is, what about you? Which which one are you? If we think about it, that everyday preparation, the putting one foot in front of the other, the I'm going to check it out and I'm going to learn about it and I'm going to adapt it and I'm going or adopt it. I'm going to adopt it and adapt it and bring it in and make it work and see what it's like and check it out. That person is the one that is going to have the opportunity come to them. I just think it's very, very clear that I know through the 13 years I've been working with clients, and also when I was in television, was the same thing. Those anchors that I worked with that were, yeah, always ready and try and do the next thing and learning and going to the voice classes and doing this and they were always preparing. Those are the people that have become household names. Those are the people that always have jobs. They're never in between pictures. They're always doing something. They're always at that next, moving towards that next level. So I would suggest that when these opportunities come along and people say, hey, come on, let's learn this and let's get on board. And, I have this program or this person has this thing or I went to this and it was really great. Get on board. Do what you need to do to get on board and be that person who is out there, a mover and a shaker, who's learning the next thing and doing the next thing. And, it was really interesting. I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk the other night on it was a speech that he was giving in Germany, actually. It was a speech he was giving in Germany. And I was listening to this and he's saying, I spent so much time on this type of social media. I didn't even recognize it. He goes, I invested hours every single night between 9 and 1 in the morning. Every night I was working on this. I was learning it. I was perfecting it. I was really trying to learn to use this. And all my friends giggled when it went nowhere and I had wasted that time. And they were like, well, Gary invested his time, his energy, his money. And look what happened. Nothing. And they were like, ha, ha, ha. And Gary's like, yes, it looks like I had wasted that time. But in reality, all the time that I took that I learned to do that and I learned to work with that, what ended up happening was that went nowhere. That went kaput. It disappeared. But the next thing that rolled in, I was ready for it. I was much better off and I already understood the platform and I already understood and I made a lot of money with that next thing that rolled in. So yes, my time was wasted on the first one. To the average person, to my friends, to everybody else, they were all laughing, but they weren't laughing when the next one rolled in and I was already ready for it. I made a lot of money on it. So yes, he spent a lot of time and a lot of energy on something that didn't work, something that didn't last. It wasn't any good. It wasn't at least adapted, so it didn't go out there and make a big splash. But what he did was he took and he transferred that knowledge from that app to the next app that was up and coming, that became huge. And I think that next one was actually, I think if I remember correctly, Snapchat. So he got in early and he invested in Snapchat, and Snapchat it's moving and it's coming. And he said there's no way he would have known about this new app and how to use this new app and the value in the new app if he didn't spend so much time and energy on the last one. And he said in his business, because he's so busy working with Fortune 100 companies, doing their social media and getting all this stuff organized and running all over the world, speaking and social media and buying and all this, he has to work between 9 and 1. on whatever new thing is coming along. So he works all day long, goes to the gym, does this, does that, does the other thing, gets on planes. He said he's in airports so much he feels like they're home. And he still takes his time between 9 and 1 in the morning and learns the new thing. Because the new thing is what's going to make all the difference for him. It's his world. So he's got to be up on it. And he says you don't always make $1 million on these things. However, you will if you continue to adapt and learn and grow and start to change things. You will be at the right place at the right time. That was the whole message of that entire speech that they flew him to Germany to give. Be at the right place at the right time. Don't be afraid to invest your time, your energy, and your money, because you're always going to get something back from it, even if it's not what you thought. Be that person that's preparing and getting ready. So I have a kind of a sad story. The reason why I wasn't able to be on so much this week was because there was an accident in my family. My brother fell and hurt himself. He actually, the ladder that he was on collapsed. He was at church working, and the ladder collapsed, and he ended up falling on the cement or jumping onto the cement floor and shattering his ankle and breaking his foot and his leg. And it's just a mess. And he's, a lot older. So it's also, especially dangerous because of that. But it's very interesting because this is the part of my family that is always prepared. They're always prepared for everything. So just like they're always prepared for everything, they were kind of prepared in a way for this. They put the whole, he was in the hospital, 4 hours of surgery, whole thing, hospital bed, this, they have that. So because you can't always prepare for everything that's coming, and sometimes things come that aren't good. I mean, the same day we got the call from the Oprah people was the same day I got the call about my brother's accident, and it was very devastating, and threw us into a big tizzy because we were worried and concerned, and the operation was in the middle of the night. It was just like one of those things. So even though we can't prepare for everything, we can try as hard as we can to be prepared for the good that could come, and also maybe the not so good. The more that we're prepared for anything, the more that we can manage and cope with the things that happen. So this is another reason why I felt really compelled to talk about this, because this whole situation is really making me ask myself, how prepared am I for the positive, and how prepared am I, God forbid, for any of the negative that could happen? And I know that I'm much more prepared for the positive, because I'm always learning and studying and growing and trying to take the new thing in. But it's that maybe not as prepared as I should be for any of this, any tragedy like that. I really don't think I'm that prepared for that. So I really need to step that up as well, because not only, just like the good happens, sometimes the bad happens as well. So I just wanted to share that message with you about preparing for the good, trying to bring as much of that to you as possible. And also, if in fact you do have some malady or some issue, that you could potentially be prepared for that as well. So that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. I hope you like my message. I hope that you find it helpful in some way. And maybe it's going to help you to take an opportunity that comes along and seize that opportunity and go for it. That would be really nice. And also, I hope there's no tragedy or anything negative, but if there is, I hope that maybe my words have helped you to prepare a little bit for that as well. So I'm sorry if I seem less than my usual very excited, happy self, but it's a little bit late for me. I'm usually um, starting to wind down by now because I do get up very early. But I just wanted to make sure that I shared that message with you. So you would kind of see, I think, where the success is, where success actually comes from. So I wish you all a good night. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to talk to you soon. I welcome any comments. If you like my YouTube, please do me a favor and subscribe. I'm looking for subscribers. I want to get as many subscribers as possible. And I have some really good things that I've posted on subconscious behavior patterns and subconscious mind. That's really good. And also, I have goal setting there. So take a look at some of the things that I have because they really are, success is really based in these things. Success is really based in goal setting, understanding our subconscious behavior, also book marketing and how we go about that. And those marketing tips are also transferable to other things. So I wish you a good night. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take it easy and good luck. Bye-bye now. Stop broadcasting.